What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are actually going to continue our coverage over the character known as Hush. And the reason why, because somebody actually asked me what happened to the character after the storyline known as Heart of Hush. And honestly, at first, I forgot. But then I remembered when it came to Hush, he did appear a few more times after Final Crisis before his New 52 reboot. And honestly, it's not really a reboot. Either way, though, when it came to Hush, he did reappear in Gotham City after Final Crisis, but as Bruce Wayne. So let me explain, just in case we have new fans here, but also old readers who may forgot who Hush actually was. So back in the early 2000s, we got a storyline known as Batman Hush, where of course it introduced the character Hush to us as the readers. Now, in that storyline, we learned that Hush was Thomas Elliot, but apparently Thomas Elliot had a huge hatred towards Bruce Wayne. But before we had learned why he hated Bruce Wayne so much, we also learned that Thomas Elliot was actually an old friend of Bruce Wayne from Bruce Wayne's childhood. Like, they actually grew up together. Now, both boys lost their parents, where of course it should have made them even closer friends, because again, they both lost their parents. But here comes the big difference though. Thomas Elliot actually hated his parents a whole lot, to the point that he was trying to kill them off to get rid of them, but to also get their money. That was the big reason why he really wanted to get rid of his parents. Now, here is the big thing. He actually did try to kill his parents off by kind of cutting the brakes or the brake fluid to his father's vehicle, hoping that his dad and mom would crash and die. But unfortunately for Thomas Elliot, Bruce Wayne's father, when he was still alive, actually saved Thomas Elliot's mother's life. His dad died, but not his mother. But because his mother did survive, Thomas Elliot was unable to get the money that he wanted from his parents. And so for years and years and years, he was just stuck with his mother, but being unable to actually get his money. And so with that being said, that hatred grew towards Bruce Wayne even more, because he blamed Bruce Wayne for not being able to get his money. But on top of that, when Bruce Wayne's parents died and of course left his money for Bruce Wayne, Thomas Elliot's hatred towards Bruce grew even more. Like, look at you. You now have that freedom to do whatever you want in the world. I can't do that because my mom is still holding on to my money. That is not fair. And so for Thomas Elliot, the hatred towards Bruce over the years just kept growing and growing. Now, it did get to a point where you actually had Thomas Elliot kill off his own mother, which honestly is messed up. But again, he did that so that he'll actually have access to his fortune, to have money, what he always wanted from his parents. But because over the years, the hatred towards Bruce Wayne just kept growing and growing and growing, he really wanted to become Bruce Wayne. And so he became a plastic surgeon. Now, here's the big thing though. Over the years of DC Comics for Thomas Elliot, he would get closer and closer to actually looking like Bruce Wayne. So it came to Heart of Hush. By that point, he looked just like Bruce Wayne. And so when it came to Heart of Hush, it was really more of Thomas Elliot coming back to Gotham to prove a point to Bruce Wayne. One, he was trying to replace Bruce Wayne, but two, also take the love away from Bruce Wayne's life. And of course, he attacked Selina Kyle, because at that point in DC Comics, Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne were actually dating. Now, with that being said, what he did to Selina Kyle, he took out her heart, because again, he was trying to take away the love from Bruce Wayne. And so he literally took her heart out. Now, she did not die because she was put on some kind of machine to keep her alive, even though she did lose her heart. Now, Batman was able to get her heart back to her. But once he did that, he did beat down on Thomas Elliot. And then once Selina Kyle was actually able to recover after having two different kinds of surgeries, she then stole all the money from Thomas Elliot. And so all that money he had from his parents, what he worked so hard to get by killing off his dad and his mom, he lost all that money just like that. And so now he's literally walking around the world as a fake Bruce Wayne, one, but two, as a broke fake Bruce Wayne. And so right now he's just wandering around the world wondering what can he do to kind of get out of this low point in his life. And so getting into today's storyline, you do have Hush right now waking up after being saved by two fishermen. Now, the reason why he's being saved by two fishermen is because he fell into Gotham's river to commit suicide. Because thanks to Heart of Hush, he was literally beaten down by Batman, so he does have broken bones. But on top of that, all his money was taken away by Selina Kyle. And so with that being said, the man wanted to commit suicide, but he was saved by two fishermen. Now, when these two fishermen actually saved him, they're like, wait a second, we saved Bruce Wayne. This is great. They have no idea that they have actually saved Thomas Elliot, because by this point in DC Comics, Thomas Elliot did not look like Thomas. He looked like Bruce Wayne. And so right now they're like, yeah, we saved Bruce Wayne. This is great because his face has been all over the newspapers. And this is a very important line right there. And the reason why, because Thomas Elliot has no idea that right now Bruce Wayne, Batman, is dead, but he does know he has to leave Gotham. And the reason why, because if he stays in Gotham right now, one of the other heroes is going to hear about how Bruce Wayne is alive again and walking around Gotham. And then those heroes are going to try to look for Thomas, who looks like Bruce Wayne, but realize that he's not Bruce Wayne. And so right now it's him realizing he has to leave Gotham before those other heroes find him and then throw him in jail. Now, he also realized that with Bruce Wayne's identity, he'll be able to get away with a lot of different things. And so this is him using Bruce Wayne's identity as a way to leave Gotham. And so he does pay the two fishermen. Well, actually, he does not pay them. He tells them to go see Lucius Fox and have them tell Lucius that they have saved Bruce Wayne and they're here to get some reward money. But either way, he does take $60 from them to go to his next location as a way to get away from Gotham. And so with him holding on to the identity of Bruce Wayne, he was actually able to access an all-exclusive club. Now, here's the big thing though. Even though he looks like Bruce Wayne, he's not acting or really looking like Bruce Wayne. And what I mean by that is you may have his face, but you have to walk like Bruce Wayne. You have to talk like Bruce Wayne, but you also have to dress like Bruce Wayne. And right now, when it comes to Thomas, he especially is not dressed like Bruce Wayne in this all fancy exclusive club. And so right now he knows he has to work very quickly. But then he found his target. And when I say his target, I mean the person who is going to help him get some money back into his pocket. And that person is Connie Winters. Now, Connie Winters is someone who always wants Bruce Wayne's attention, it seems, but of course he never gave it to her. Now, Thomas knows her because originally she came to him for some plastic surgery to be done, but of course he denied her. Now, either way though, he realized that because she's such an easy person, because she loves Bruce Wayne so much, or she wants to love Bruce Wayne so much, he actually uses her as a way to get some money. And what I mean by that is he does spend some time with her pretending to be Bruce Wayne and kind of acting like he does like her by being Bruce Wayne. And of course, she's like, oh my gosh, I have Bruce Wayne. This is great. I'm having a good old time. Well, once he's able to get her on her boat, her yacht, he then kills off her and also the driver of the boat so that he'll be able to actually sell her expensive yacht to get some money in his pocket. And so then you have Thomas Elliot actually take the yacht that he stole from Connie Winters and takes it over to Jamaica. Now, when he does get over to Jamaica, he does sell the yacht and he does get $4 million for that yacht right there, which honestly, that's some pretty good money for someone right there. Now, either way, the reason why he went to Jamaica because he does need some ID. But he needs his ID to actually look legit. And so when he got over to Jamaica, he made sure he had an ID made that said Bruce Wayne. And so now he does have some legit proof that says, yeah, I'm Bruce Wayne, which could give him access to all the accounts that Bruce Wayne has across the world. But on top of that, he does get some guns as well as a way to protect him, but honestly, those guns are really pointless in this storyline. But either way, he does now have legit ID that says he is Bruce Wayne. Now, Thomas Elliot is always a few steps ahead of the game. And the reason why, because even though he now has Bruce Wayne's identity along with ID that proves that he is supposedly Bruce Wayne, he may get some access to some accounts across the world that belong to Bruce Wayne, but he realized that those accounts could be frozen by anybody else in the Bat family. And so right now, he's trying to get money where he can to his own personal account before all accounts are technically frozen. And so right now he flies over to Sydney, Australia. Now, the reason why he flies over to Sydney, Australia is because Bruce Wayne has another close friend out there known as Russell Corey. Now, Russell Corey actually has his own company out there as well, except Bruce Wayne owns at least 60% of the shares of that company right there. And so, yes, Bruce and Russell are close friends, but Bruce owns most of the company out there in Australia. Now, when Thomas Elliot arrives, but of course he is pretending to be Bruce Wayne, Russell has no idea that he's talking to Thomas, but in his eyes, he sees Bruce Wayne. And so it's Russell saying, "Hey, Bruce, what's up? What do you need right now?" And Thomas tells Russell, "Oh, I'm having a hard time, buying anything out here because I don't have any currency that belongs to Australia. Like, all my money is American money. Can I borrow some Australian money?" And of course, you have Russell like, "Yeah, dude, I got you. How much do you need?" Now, you do have Thomas write down one ridiculous amount to get some money from Russell, but you have Russell like, "I guess it's okay. I mean, you are Bruce Wayne, you are a close friend. Maybe you're buying something really expensive and you need this huge amount. I got you." And just like that, Thomas Elliot, who's pretending to be Bruce Wayne, just got a bunch of more money from Russell. And so you do have Thomas Elliot actually stay a couple more days in Australia. Now, when he does run into a certain hero, and that hero is Tasmanian Devil. Now, when it comes to Tasmanian Devil, he's one of those low tier characters. I mean, some fans know of him, but at the same time, not many fans truly care for him. Either way, the reason why Thomas Elliot is freaking out because he has no idea which heroes actually know that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And so right now, with him being in Australia pretending to be Bruce Wayne, he's wondering if Tasmanian Devil actually knows Bruce Wayne like that. Does he know that Bruce Wayne is Batman? Now, luckily for Thomas Elliot, when it comes to Tasmanian Devil, he has no idea that Bruce Wayne is Batman. He just sees Bruce Wayne like, "Hey, it's Bruce Wayne. Cool, man. Listen, I saved your life. Can you go ahead and just leave? But hey, be careful out there in the streets." And that's really it. And so for Thomas Elliot, he really did get lucky. And so then you have Thomas Elliot actually go over to Vietnam. Now, when he goes over to Vietnam, he does plan to pull the same scheme he did like in Australia with Russell. But then he realized something. When it comes to the manager of this company in Vietnam, he's taking a very long time handing over the money to Thomas. And so now is Thomas wondering, did something happen? Like, for example, did Connie Winter's body washed up? Did Russell realize back in Australia that he was played by a fake Bruce Wayne? Either way, for Thomas, he knows he has to leave. And so you have Thomas get in the vehicle and drive into the rainforest. Now, while he does get into the rainforest, that is the moment he realized that he's being followed. Now, at first, he believes it has to be cops, but then he realized it's not cops. It's some random men with some very aggressive tech on them right now coming after him to basically capture him. And so he does try to get away, but unfortunately, he's unable to get away. He is grabbed by them and they do take him over to their leader. And the problem is, though, their leader right now is Selena Kyle. And she knows that this is not Bruce Wayne. She knows it is Thomas Elliot. And she's very upset for two reasons. One, because Thomas did take her heart in the last storyline. But on top of that, because he's pretending to be the man that she once loved. And so when it comes to Selina Kyle, or Catwoman right here, you do have Selina Kyle kind of mention to us, the readers, that right now she has taken over this poacher's ring. And the reason why, because these poachers were actually going after endangered species. Now, with that being said, though, her goal was to kind of take over these poachers' ring, but then also free the animals that these poachers had basically captured. Now here comes the problem with her plan though, because she has to make sure that every single animal is able to break free, but on top of that she has to make sure she also gets away. But she wants to make sure that the men are distracted long enough so that none of the animals are actually killed off, and plus want to make sure that she is not killed off either. But the problem is though, there's so many poachers and there's only her. And so when she took over this poacher's ring, yeah, she had a great idea. The problem is though, now she has to find an exit strategy. Where comes Thomas Elliot? And the reason why, because she heard, Bruce Wayne's in Vietnam? Impossible. And the reason why it's so impossible, because she knows Bruce Wayne is dead. She knows he died in Final Crisis. She was there in Battle for the Cow. She fought along with Dick Grayson and Tim Drake while they tried to save Gotham. She fought alongside Tim Drake when he was trying to stop Jason Todd. She knows that Dick Grayson is the new Batman. And so she's like, I know you're not Bruce Wayne. I know Bruce Wayne died. I was told by Superman that Bruce Wayne is dead. Now, in reality, he's not dead, like he is alive. But either way, she knows that this is Thomas Elliot. But what she also knows is that when it comes to Thomas Elliot pretending to be Bruce Wayne is a bigger prize than these endangered animals, because these poachers will try to get some money out of Bruce Wayne by holding him as a ransom. And so what she is trying to do is that she wants him, Thomas Elliot, but who's also right now pretending to be Bruce Wayne, to run away. Because if he does run away, they're going to follow him. And while they follow him, then she'll be able to release all the animals and also get away. Now, luckily for Thomas Elliot, Selina Kyle does not want to see him die. And so she does bring in some kind of help. And so Selina Kyle's plan is that these two guys that she's having right now introduced to Thomas Elliot is going to help Thomas Elliot actually escape from this area. And the reason why, because remember, Thomas Elliot looks like Bruce Wayne. And because he does look like Bruce Wayne, that means the poachers are going to chase after him, because the poachers want to use Bruce Wayne, quotation marks, as a way for ransom. And so these two guys are going to help Thomas Elliot escape and get on a boat to leave Vietnam. But the thing is, the poachers will still try their best to get Thomas Elliot to bring him back, because again, they believe he is Bruce Wayne. Now, while the poachers are trying to chase down Thomas Elliot and these two guys who work for Selina Kyle, then you'll have Selina Kyle actually release all the animals. And while the animals are released, then she'll also leave as well. It's everybody getting out of here and ruining the whole operation here for these poachers. And so that plan does actually happen. But here is one catch though. When it comes to these two guys who's helping Thomas Elliot escape, once they do get on the boat, all three of them, and they're about to leave, and we kind of find out that apparently the two guys that were supposedly working for Selina Kyle were not really working for Selina Kyle. It was Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne, the latest Batman and Robin. They heard about Bruce Wayne popping up in different areas around the world, which means that everything Thomas Elliot did in this story so far, they heard about it left and right. And they were kind of like, that's weird, because Bruce Wayne is dead. He died in Final Crisis. And so they realized it had to be Thomas Elliot. And so you then have them knock him out. But when he wakes up, he's now in some kind of prison. Now, for Thomas Elliot, he really believes he'll find a way out of this prison cell, which honestly, he will find a way out. But for right now, He won't. But this is them saying, listen, we have you locked up for a legit reason. And the reason why, because you cannot go out in the world being Bruce Wayne. Because if you go out there in the world as Bruce Wayne, you're going to cause more problems for us, the heroes of Gotham, but also just in case Bruce Wayne does come back to life, or just in case Bruce Wayne comes back at all. And so right now, they're going to keep him locked up for the time being and hoping that he'll just stay there. But when it comes to Thomas Elliot, he knows that sooner or later he is going to find a way. And when he does find a way, it's over. And so this is where we are going to end today's comic book video, because then we jump into Streets of Gotham. It was a brand new series that was launched right after Final Crisis, because again, Bruce Wayne died and we had a new Batman and Robin in Gotham City. But with that being said, though, I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video. Please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.